Hi, everyone. Welcome to First Fridays at 5. My name is Melissa, and today we're going to be talking about marketing, Marketing March. So I'm excited to speak to everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I know that marketing can kind of seem like this very big kind of cloud. It's very overwhelming. It's a very large field and a large area. And yeah, it can be kind of overwhelming to break it down. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to provide some insights for everyone today and teach you some tips and tricks to know how to market your next project, whether it's something for work, promoting yourself, or promoting a product that you have. All right, so I'm going to go through some slides and some key information, and then at the end, I will have time for Q&A. All righty.
Sounds great.
Woo!
Round of
So
applause for you.
thank you for the audio feedback. I appreciate it. So who am I? My name is Melissa Pagnotta. I am new to technical writing. I'm making the shift into the field, so I'm very excited. And my background is primarily in digital marketing. So currently a communications manager and strategist. And how I entered this field was I was studying television production in school. So like learning how to make the content. And then a few years later, I found myself at a comedy club in Manhattan working there. And I was just kind of thrown the task of promoting comics and shows and not knowing what that meant. And so I kind of had to, on the fly, learn about marketing, learn how social media worked and making content worked. And I realized that similar to technical communication, I really liked liked helping them communicate and reach people and share their message more effectively. So went further into marketing and became a social media manager for Sundance Now, which is a streaming service, TV streaming service, and also did content marketing for a mental health clinic in Manhattan. And so my marketing background kind of expanded just from social media to press releases, blog posts, newsletters, all of that. So primarily we'll be talking today about digital marketing and kind of all those different mediums that I listed. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so this is kind of the breakdown. So we're going to talk about what exactly is marketing? How do we define it? And then we will discuss the similarities and differences with technical communication. There's actually a really big overlap, so I wanted to highlight that. So people who are technical writers hopefully don't feel as overwhelmed when considering marketing. And then I will go into some examples of work that I've done to show you kind of firsthand how it was developed, talk about some steps, and then we'll have a chit chat at the end and Q&A. And so my goal for this is for at the end you to feel like you have kind of a bird's eye view of the goals of marketing, the main key steps to take and approaches to take, and more so that you can identify the different areas of marketing better so that you now have the language to know what you want to look further into next. Okay, so what exactly is marketing? It is so much. It's in-person things, it's digital things, it's video, it's graphics. So how do we kind of define it? What is the goal of marketing? I kind of describe it as very simply, marketing is promoting a service, product, or company. Basically, yeah, you're just promoting, you're trying to sell something, and there's different techniques to do that. And so I kind of break them down in this way. There's something kind of like an immediate sales pitch or an immediate call to action, like say, a commercial like, hey, we have the sale, a very clear and specific call to action. There's long-term marketing, which is kind of like a slower evolution where maybe you're shifting branding for a company, you are trying to get customers to trust the company more, or you're changing the reputation, you want to build a community on social media, for example. So that's kind of like a long-term promotion and reputation building of a brand. And then lastly, there's what's called nurturing or like nurture marketing. And that's basically like smaller but consistent individual steps for kind of engaging your followers long term, and then hopefully they will convert and take the action you want them to take. So for example, I might sign up for an author's free e-newsletter or a free ebook. So it's free, but now I'm getting emails every week, so I'm getting to know the author better. And then down the line, say in a few weeks, I'll be more likely to purchase their book. So that's like a nurturing model. And again, marketing can entail social media, newsletters, ads, SEO, events, all of it, with all the goal in mind of trying to promote something. So, especially now entering technical communication from marketing, I did not realize really how similar they were, and that a lot of the skill sets you have easily and directly translate to marketing. So what are those similarities? In this Venn diagram is I'm a nerd. I love diagrams. I was very happy to make this. So within the similarities, most importantly, in both marketing, nope, we're not going to do that. We're going to stay here. In marketing and technical communication, you have to know your audience. What's their demographic? How do they communicate? What do they need to know to be able to take the action? Where are they consuming the content? How are they consuming your message? Another similarity is that you can work with with subject matter experts within marketing. In technical communication, for example, I would write blog posts for mental health clinic, but I'd had to interview psychologists and clinical experts. So that was an example of a time I worked with SMEs. Marketing and technical communication both focus on educating your user, and then you have to know how to organize your content, design your content very clearly, make sure that it's easy to understand. So all of those skills that you use to create legible, clear, compelling technical communication actually goes hand in hand with marketing. Now, how these are different are very key. So where technical communication focuses on instructional and logical and what the user needs to know in order to do something, marketing is about what the user wants. Marketing is more emotional. It's entertaining. So
I can't believe you say that technical communication is not entertaining.
True, you're right. It can be you're right. It can be incredibly entertaining with music and graphics and car explosions and all of that, like in the movies. But with the goal of, at the end of the day, being instructional, right? Like there is a goal of educating them to be able to take an action or learn something or do something, whereas marketing can be just pure entertainment, right? Like the whole goal could be just to get them to laugh and feel an emotion. So that's kind of how I would separate the two. And so to kind of give an example, I have down here is like technical communication. The goal could be like, follow these instructions for you to replace your tire. You'll do it correctly and you'll be on your way. Whereas marketing, our messaging is like, here's why you should get this tire. Here's why our tire is better compared to everyone else's. So it's like that slight shift in thinking about the subject that you're talking about. Does that make sense?
It does.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, I'm prepared to forgive you.
Thank you so much, Vicky. Now I'm like compelled to make some instructional content that's like just music and special effects and pure entertainment. So you have this thing you want to promote, whether it's yourself, developing a brand for yourself, maybe it's a project you want to promote for work or your portfolio, promoting an event like this one. So what are the steps you need to take to get there? When first coming up with a concept, you want to think about what is the most unique, different, or valuable aspect about the thing you're talking about. We want to provide the user with as much value as possible. And out of those things that you deem are different, special, what do you think your audience would find most valuable out of those things? What would they resonate with the most? Out of those things, why would they ultimately buy the book or attend the show? So thinking about what what ways you stand out, and in those ways, what do people relate to the most? And then similar to technical communication, in order to make this successful, what is the key information you need to have in this marketing? So maybe it's you need the link for them to buy the ticket. You need the date and time and location. So you're thinking about the larger kind of abstract abstract aspect of it, partnered with the logical, we need the date and time. So you have this idea you want to focus on, you know what makes your item special and unique and wonderful. So now we have to think about where the marketing is going to live. What's the medium it's going to be? Are you going to be on social media, a newsletter, etc.? So you want to think about where your audience is. Who are you trying to reach, right? Again, back to technical communication. Who is reading, who is consuming, and we have to tailor it to them. So if you're trying to reach a younger demographic, you have a band, you want to promote your music, then maybe you're thinking social media because you could post clips there. If you're promoting maybe a really kind of research you've done, maybe you're thinking a newsletter or a blog so people can Google it and see the work that you've done. So thinking about where you want your ideal person to see it and where they live, what are their behaviors. And another thing to consider back to the kind of emotional part of marketing is how do you want people to feel about this thing you're promoting? If you're promoting your band of music, maybe it's you want them to feel excited and emotional and excited to be kind of part of this new artistic community. If you're a doctor, maybe, and you're giving them tips, maybe you want them to feel, confident and safe and heard, like, oh, I have this doctor who gets me. I found this content that's going to help me. So thinking about how you want them to feel as well. Oh, and then lastly, you want to think about your voice. How are we communicating to them? Again, if you're a doctor, maybe you're going to, speak very confidently, like a doctor would talk to a patient. Or if you're trying to relate to a younger audience, maybe you're speaking like them, like they're a friend. You're talking like their best friend. You're talking like their parents, etc. So wanted to now take an example of a marketing product I made and kind of go through those steps. So this was an Instagram carousel post. So when you swipe through with like different pages, and the client I was working with was a mental health facility in New York City. They treated 18 to 30-year-olds. So it was like a youth mental health organization. And they worked with an international audience, and they were coming from very affluent families. And part of my job was to help reach their goal of reaching new potential clients. And they wanted to really position themselves as experts in this space of working with adolescents. So what were the steps in creating this piece of content, this Instagram carousel post? Again, thinking about what's special and unique about this clinic. They were specializing specifically in the lifestyles and mental health conditions impacting young adults, young adolescents, particularly from like wealthier backgrounds. And in promoting this clinic, what would potential patients find most valuable? They're going to find the expertise most valuable. They're going to find the fact that, oh, these doctors relate to me. They understand my lifestyle. That's what's going to make them sign on with the clinician. So, okay, we're going to make a social media post targeted towards these younger adolescents while promoting mental health facts and information. So what do we need for it to be successful? What do we need for people to actually engage with it, with our audience to engage with it? We have to make it unique information. If we want to show that we're experts, we have to provide information that no one else is showing. We have to give them actionable steps, and we have to make it kind of visually appealing so they're likely to save it or share it with people. And the demographic that they were working with were, again, 18 to 30-year-olds. So Instagram was the thing. We decided to be on Instagram and design it for Instagram because that's where they consume their content. And we kind of decided to do the idea of how to be sober at Burning Man because Burning Man was a topic that they would talk a lot about. Again, they were younger people, they were affluent, they like to travel, they like to go to festivals. So we knew that this topic would be kind of trending among them. Maybe they knew someone going to Burning Man. And then we're providing the expertise of how to go to these festivals, while being sober, providing mental health tips. So this is kind of like a breakdown of how you can think about what you're trying to market. who you're marketing to and how that can translate into a unique concept. Okay, tips and tricks. These are things I've like kind of gathered along the way for people who are interested in learning more about marketing. So if you are interested in, again, marketing product, yourself, etc., I would suggest really learning about the specific area that you're interested in, whether that's newsletters, blogs, social media, events, podcasting, because they all vary so much based on what kind of trends or formats work best for them. What might work really, really well on Facebook might not translate perfectly to TikTok, for example. So really study the platforms you want to be on. Some ways to get started. Great resources are Social Media Today. It's a daily, Monday through Friday newsletter and website where they talk about trends, news within social media, digital marketing. And then HubSpot and Sprout Social are two like management tools, content creation, scheduling, marketing management. And they have great blogs. They kind of are bigger picture approaches to marketing and information about different marketing mediums. Okay. Second tip, trends are fleeting, content is king. So something I get a lot of questions about when I'm starting to work with clients or answering people's questions is I get a lot of, oh, well, what hashtags do I use? How many hashtags do I use? What's trending? What audio do I use? I think there's this misconception from influencers and also just how we consume social media that we assume that there's like this magic trick, like, oh, if I use this specific hashtag, then I'll go viral. If I use this audio, I will go viral. There's there's no like magic trick like that. There's no, you know, secret sauce or something that we're missing. Influencers try to get you to think like that so that you'll keep up with trends, but for long-term growth, for like true genuine engagement, it is all about good content. Are you producing content that people are engaging with, that they like, that resonates with them, and their likes, their dislikes, their pain points? So at the end of the day, don't worry about hashtags. I mean, all that's great, but when you're first starting out, your focus should be just create good content that's entertaining, educational, instructional, and that really resonates with people. And then unfortunately, it's about them. It's about user. You're a user. It's not about you. And what I mean by that is, again, starting to work with people who are new to marketing or social media in particular. I see a lot of posts and content that seem to be very one-sided, like, oh, I have this new book coming out. Here's this. I'm doing this. I have a lecture. I have this. I have that. I think people kind of treat it more as I'm just sharing updates. Like it's very one-sided. Like here's this thing about me. Here's what's going on in my life. When actually you have to think about the user. What are they interested in? It should be tailored to them. We're so inundated with content on every screen. I know for me, like what'll actually get me to stop is something I find valuable, right? Something that I'm interested in or that could benefit me. Like what's in it for me? So you want to think about that when you're creating the content. What does your user want to see? So instead of my book comes out today, here it is, buy it. It should be, hey, are you interested in fiction? Do you like fiction? I have this, or do you like historical fiction? Do you need a new read? So tailoring it in messaging that they will be like, yes, I am looking for a new read. Thank you so much for asking. So you want to speak directly to them. Okay. And those are the main concepts. I am happy to open it up. We can talk about all of the things, any of the things, any questions. We can talk about social media specifically or different types of marketing, newsletters, posting strategies, all of that. So thank you so much for listening. I hope this helps. And yeah, happy to open it up.
Okay, so for people who are watching us later and not live with us today, we can reach out and the video will have Melissa's contact information. So if we have specific questions, we can engage with Melissa and she will share her superpowers with us. Because the people that are watching on YouTube, they won't have a chance to engage right now, but we want to make sure that everybody gets what they need. So
absolutely
we'll do that. All right then, with our applause and our thank, I am going to pause the recording.
Great.